International Tattoo, September 1998. It's around the time I started tattooing. One of the first magazines that I got. Somehow, after all these years, I managed to hang on to this magazine. It's got a bunch of rad artists in here. But when I first started tattooing, this was kind of like the Bible that you carried around with you. This magazine's pretty good. It starts out with a bunch of letters to the editor. People are their ideas, sharing their opinions. We got Pam Roberts. Quick write-up on her. This is kind of the creme de la creme of articles for the time. This was Grime. 1998. It's a pretty interesting interview. I remember being kind of dumbstruck by it. At the time, his tattoos were so forward-thinking, and they've done nothing but evolve over the years, which is pretty amazing. It's kind of interesting read. You can find one. This Darth Vader right here always stuck out in my head. It's probably like the best cover-up ever, as well as these kind of new school masks. Pretty elaborate write-up on them. We got some flash from Dave Waugh, articles, more ads here. Then we got Radfink here. By the late Chris Pfouts. He's kind of a photojournalist of the time for a lot of the tattoo magazines. We did meet him one day in Bangkok, Thailand. And you used to be able to pay to have your business card in these magazines. This guy made a ton of flash. David Boltz. Really hard stuff to tattoo. It was very stylized. Pretty cool sleeve here. So at the time, you'd take your best photos and mail them into the magazine in hopes of being published in there. Even heard stories of guys mailing their photos in pizza boxes in hopes that they'd get opened. This is Post Tattoo Time magazine. Probably a follow-up to Ed Hardy's creation. Ever so popular Haida tattoos. Oh, let's see what we got here. Super sick back piece. But to find out who did this, I believe we have to go to the back. And then there's a write-up. See, we got Guy Atchison, Kim Tsai, Jeff Zuck, another Kim Tsai. Sassafari right here. Got Clean Rock 1 when he was just clean. There's so many names in these things. It's kind of funny. Got James Kern. Got James Kern, who did this tattoo on Hannah Atchison, which is pretty awesome tattoo. Got Jack Mosher, who did all the Japanese books in later years. Another Jeff Zuck. Let's kind of get through to these things. Oh, it looks like somebody cut a picture out of that one. signs of the time, all the new school kind of stuff, not even neo-traditional. Tribal was at its peak. Full realism leg sleeve is pretty cool. Here's the kind of epic Hannah Atchison arm tattoo. It looks amazing. I remember being really wowed by the colors on that thing. Everlasting tattoo. More ads. And then I've got a write-up on Kenny Trejo in here. A couple reviews of books by the late Crispin Fouts. Be interesting to see one day maybe his collection of photos. He had so many great ones. And then this is a Jack Rudy roast. This beginning's pretty funny. Despite predictions that Jack Rudy will be late for his own funeral, he was one of the first to arrive at a Sunday night roast, wearing real shoes, not his usual flip-flops. And Sunday, Mike Malone, Ed Hardy, Bob Roberts, Good Time Charlie Cartwright, Mike Shue, Brian Everett, and the MC Mike Brown were Jack's hand-picked panel, expected to stew the man from way back. I mean, it was probably epic to be there. Yeah, Mike Malone right there. You know, sometimes you can find these old magazines at garage sales and stuff. It's kind of like looking back through a portal of time. Dermographics was like a pretty big supplier at the time. Often they'd have sales where you could get tubes, I believe, for about $6, $6 to $10 with a grip. And it's funny, one of the girls I worked with at the shop, when she was an apprentice, it was her job to put together tattoo machines. And she knows nothing about machines. Still to this day. So that's what kind of hands you were in. And look at that, we got Trevor McStay right there. Walt Daly. At the time, I didn't really know what I had my hands on here, like how good these things actually were for the time, how well put together they were. Yeah, maybe this was Trevor right here. Definitely kind of looks like it. What was the... But this is the one that really wowed me, was the style of this photo. I hadn't really seen anyone come out like this prior to this in tattooing that I knew of at the time, mostly being around biker shops and stuff. I hope you enjoyed a look back into September 1998. Hope you enjoyed a look back into September 1998.